Hi everyone, our topic for today is understanding the emerging need for SDLC and security risk in the current SDLC model. My group members are Hardik, Yash, Aditya, and myself. To begin with, we need to understand the emerging need for a secure development lifecycle. Suppose there's a system with a lot of vulnerabilities. An adversary tries to attack it, and in case he's successful, there's a lot of financial loss by the organization. The organization will have to invest a lot of money to overcome this. Failing to do so might lead to a business loss. According to recent researches, 2,200 cyber attacks takes place every day. 8 lakh people are annually compromised. All of this is happening due to inadequate design and development processes. Our main aim of the project is to understand the emerging need of a secure SDLC, followed by surveying the importance of SDLC. We also try to analyze the adoption of SDLC in the early stages and how is it being followed nowadays. We try to understand the advantages and disadvantages of a secure SDLC. Lastly, we try to implement a security mechanism in the current SDLC model. A lot of related work has been done in this domain. For example, research done by David, where he tries to understand why SDLC is being followed nowadays and not why not earlier. Research by Anuradha and Praveen highlights the limitations of SDLC in various phases of SDLC. Research by Karen, where he tried to develop a methodology to limit the access to the software. Research by Hossein, where he tried to develop an SDLC model on already all known vulnerabilities. Both of these methods, they are outdated because of the advancement in the technology. The next part of the presentation is covered by Yash.
I'll be detailing the approach we implemented and our contributions. So initially, we explored the rising need for secure development lifecycle or SDLC, including why SDLC is so crucial for enterprises right now, and what obstacles developers experience while using this security practice model. We also attempted to compare how firms have updated SDLC models in the past, present, or how they can be modified in the future in order to provide more awareness and improve corporate security. We investigated the gaps between aspirations or expectations and reality of guarded cybersecurity concepts in order to promote awareness. In order to do this, we attempted a survey, but we faced some challenges which will be explained later. Following that, we investigated the constraints of SDLC and proposed our own technique, which has its own security advantages to negate the limitations of SDLC. As discussed, we achieved our results in 5 phases. Next. Firstly, the emerging need of SDLC, different scenarios of SDLC, explain the gaps between expectations and reality, analyzing limitations of SDLC, and in the end, improvement in the currently existing SDLC model with our own methodology. Next, we'll be discussing the emerging need for SDLC. Each firm tries to preserve its position on the top of corporate food chain. Many software providers attempt to uh, provide the security consumers with safe software due to this. Businesses are now currently being pushed to focus on safe SDLC practices due to escalating dangers of insecure development habits or practices. To represent this, we used a pie chart to depict the cost of fixing problems in different phases based on the dataset we got from Google. The earlier we try to solve the fault, the less money the organization will lose or have to invest to fix the security breach or the vulnerability. The average cost to repair a vulnerability discovered after a development phase is at most 100 times more than it would be in a development phase. Due to the advancements in technology, security risks are rapidly rising. That's why many organizations have taken to adopt SDLC, and the emerging need is currently very high. The results will be explained to you by Hadi.
As my friend Yash put on the light and emerging need of SDLC, I'll continue that part. As you can see, we have used two dataset. Based on that, we have used machine learning libraries to showcase the emerging need of the SDLC. As you can see in the graphs, the number of vulnerabilities are increasing by the year, so that in the production environment, there is a lot of vulnerabilities happening just due to mitigated in the development phase. And the second one is that we have used the log4j vulnerability example. Again, as a log4j vulnerability happens across all over the world and impacts a lot of organizations that were using this JNDI Java library. So these two examples lighten up the emerging need as GNDI just happens as it wasn't mitigated in the development phase. So SDLC is so much essential and implemented in a good way so to provide good security to the organizations. We have also implemented the passive survey for the SDLC, like comparing the different scenarios in the in the early scenario reasons for not adopting SDLC and in the current scenarios after implementing SDLC, what are the hurdles in the different phase of the development model or the development phase. So SDLC should be made in a convenient way. It should be implemented so that every organization should start implementing in a good way. We have also tried to perform the active survey, but it didn't happen. We tried to send 250 plus mails, including security developers and security consultants of different organizations, but we only got two responses. So which was not able to put that thing in. So now we will explore the gaps between expectations and the reality. Every company organization wants their production environment to be free from all vulnerabilities, but reality is like SDLC is not that much good. And nowadays, SDLC is not that much convenient. It's so time consuming, cost ineffective. And along with that, there's some security loopholes among the developers. So it should be implemented in a convenient way. So, but there are also limitations of SDLC models. There are three good good pillars of the SDLC model, but these are also having some lack of limitations. That's why there's a lot of things organizations are facing during the adopting of the SDLC models. We have proposed a new method in the existing SDLC model. In the existing SDLC model, they only focus about the active testing, but they are not focusing on the passive security. Passive security should be done in the SDLC model in the proper way, as it would, if it doesn't happen, it would lead to leakage of API keys, access keys, SQL queries, secret keys, internal path, dependency information, and many other confidential information that was unintentionally being public by the developers. So it should be done in a proper way. Now my friend Aditya will take over from here.
Hello everyone, I'm covering the discussion part. So following are the points that were discussed during the initial part of the discussion, taking into account each team member's knowledge, interests, and enthusiasm for a specific topic. Firstly, we outline the goals that each step of our project should reach. Secondly, we have brainstormed the way in which we can demonstrate the emerging demand for the secure development lifecycle and if there is a growing need. And in addition to this, we also need to talk about how the SDLC has been adopted by businesses in the past and the present. Additionally, we have also discussed about lightening up the gap between reality and expectations, as well as analyzing the limitations of the SDLC. Additionally, we have also discussed to showcase the emerging need with the use of the machine learning libraries such as Seaborn and Matplotlib on the vulnerability dataset and the recent zero-day vulnerability. And finally, we discussed about the improvement in the current SDLC model. Next. So this is the work distribution. So this is Hardik's work distribution. Next. This is my work. This is a snap of my work. This is a snap of Yash's work. And this is a snap of Fatima's work on the topic. Next slide. So finally, I'll be covering the conclusion. So we have finally looked at the importance and the emerging need of the secure software development lifecycle across a range of organizations via passive approach all over the world. Secondly, the essential need for lightening up the impact and the need of SDLC with the machine learning libraries as discussed before, and the log4j zero-day vulnerability example was discussed. Along with the examples, we have also ensured to emphasize about the weaknesses and the gap between the reality and the expectation check of SDLC. And finally, in order to improve the organization's security, we have made a theoretical effort to put the strategy into practice, but it has not been implemented by any organization in the SDLC model to date. That's all. Thank you.